Hi Instagram, good morning, good morning. I hope you are all doing well. Excuse me, I hope you guys can hear me. There's some construction going on across the street still. But welcome, welcome. I am Claritha and it is Tuesday at 11:11, which means it's time for the live. And I am calling it Everyday Enlightenment after some of the feedback I got last week. So thank you so much for your feedback about that. And let's see here. I think I pinned a comment. 1 second. Still getting used to this live technology thing. Okay. All right. So, whoops. Hi, Kim. Good morning. So welcome to the live. Welcome to Everyday Enlightenment. And I'm just going to jump right in. So today I want to talk about you. Specifically, I want to remind you that you are enough. And that is because right now there is a lot of external pressure from the outside of us for doing more, being more, achieving more, all this like the never-ending grind of more. And I'm here to ask you and encourage you to let go and surrender any feelings that you have of guilt, of shame, judgment, or fear around not being enough. And so in this moment, if you have any of those feelings about not being enough, I'm asking you to let those go, because the truth is that's BS and you are totally enough. And the reason why I'm bringing that up today is because it's the full moon and there is a lunar eclipse today. So there's a lot of stuff coming up, and full moons are great. Hi, Kat. Full moons are great for helping us, are the perfect time to help us release, let go, and surrender ideas, beliefs, and habits that are not serving us in the best way. So yeah, they're a great time to bring things to the surface. And so we're kind of like, if you imagine us humans being sort of like a pot on the stove, and we're cooking, we're kind of, hi Sabrina, good morning. So if you imagine if we're a pot on the stove and the liquid is simmering, and there are bubbles forming, and then the bubbles pop and the vapor is dispersed, that's kind of what the full moon is doing to us as well. So we are having all these emotions, usually they're more agitated emotions, that sort of come to the surface around the time of the full moon, and it's doing that in order to help us release them. So that's why people get crazy around the full moon, and that's why there's sort of that like, oh, it must be a full moon today type of remark, because this is what happens, and this is why people get a little agitated and crazy. And the eclipses are also a great time for change. So it's kind of like a double whammy today. So if you're feeling a little agitated, specifically around, your worth, that is why. And so I'm encouraging you to take a look at that. And there's no coincidence that the term lunatic means what it means, because lunar or luna plus means a crazy person. This is how that word came about, like centuries ago. So a lunatic, crazy person, full moon, connect the dots. So anyway, so if you just joined, welcome. And I am talking about using the energy of the full moon to help us release feelings of guilt, shame, and judgment and fear around not being enough, because you are, and you always have been, and you always will be. And so when we are not empowered in that feeling of being enough, and we're having doubts about our enoughness, we forget how awesome we are. And when we are not burdened with those thoughts and beliefs, we are more able to fully embody our light and embody like why we're here. And we are able to connect with our true self and shine our true light out into the world. And so that is so needed right now. So this is why I'm kind of started these little Instagram lives. So no matter what has happened in your life, what experiences you've gone through, what choices you have made, the inner light inside of you is pure. And if you're on this planet right now, you're here for an experience, and you're here to experience your inner light being manifested out into the world. And so there is no need, I just want to remind you that there is no need for feeling shameful or feelings of inadequacy, because you're perfect. And if you are experiencing this type of guilt or this type of judgment or this type of fear, recognize it as a feeling. As Abraham Hicks says, our feelings are our guidance system. And so if you are feeling these types of things, acknowledge it, but then let it go. So even if it is easier, for sure, to believe that illusion that we are not worthy, or that, there's other things that we need to achieve outside of ourselves, but the truth is we don't. It's nice to, and if it's something that your soul is truly attracted to, that is, something that you can do. But if you're feeling this fear, this judgment, this unworthiness, this shame, recognize it, choose not to empower it, or choose not to judge it. And remember, be gentle with yourself. This is something I tell my patients all the time. Be gentle with yourself and know that you're doing the best that you can in this moment of right now. Okay? So being gentle, and that is something, self-compassion. That is like a theme I always come back to with my patients. So gentleness, remember that you're doing the best that you can in this moment of right now. And so I'm here to remind you of how luminous you are, and that you don't need to hold yourself back, and that you need to hold yourself back from unconditional self-acceptance, because that's where the real magic is. That's what makes us feel so good. And that's one of the ways that we radiate out into the world and we serve other people. So your inner light is pure. Your inner light is so pure, and don't try to ignore it, and don't dim it. You know that saying, don't dim your shine for other people? 100% that. Don't dim your shine for anybody. And there's no need to downplay it, and definitely don't worry that you are enough, because you are. You've come here with all the tools that you need to know. It's just the question of remembering. And so I'm here to help you guys remember and reconnect you to that part of yourself that maybe you forgot a little bit along the way. So remember yourself and be that. And so because it is a full moon today, and because the eclipse is going on, if you are able to find a few minutes today, a few quiet minutes just for yourself, I encourage you to find some more quiet. Maybe put your hand on your heart if you're into that. Close your eyes, just breathe, be with yourself, and see if there are any feelings see if there are any emotions or beliefs that come up around the belief that you are not enough. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Thank you so much. And acknowledge them, and then if you are ready to let them go, decide and choose to let them go, and just kind of do whatever it is that makes you feel good, and that sort of signifies to your brain and your body that you're letting them go. So sometimes that can be shaking, sometimes that can be breathing, crying, laughing, farting, burping, all of those things happen. So I encourage you to take time to do that and decide and to choose to let it go. And as many times as this needs to happen, you can revisit it again and again and again. So just know that you're doing a great job. So, and you are enough. So I wanted to remind you guys of that today. So thank you for being here. I love all your comments. I'm getting close to the 10-minute mark here. So hi, Sabrina. I'm so glad this message resonated with you today. And thank you for tuning in. Hi, Kat. Sounds like it's resonating with you. Yeah, if you're just catching the replay, go back and see the beginning about the reasons why the full moon and the lunar eclipse today are a good time to sort of revisit feeling sort of these feelings that are bubbling to the surface. So thank you guys. Hi, Kim. Glad you were here. So if you're watching it on the replay or the live, thank you so much for your comments. If you're catching the replay, comment below, and I'm happy to hear what you thought about the lesson today. Thank you guys. I will see you next week, Tuesday at 11:11 for Everyday Enlightenment.